Hello and welcome to the talkSPORT Gold Preview Show, brought to you by Final One, standing new from William Hill, 18 plus at gambleaware.org. I am Sam Ellard, and joining me to look ahead to all of the Premier League games this weekend is William Hill's Lee Phelps. Hi Lee, how are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Looking forward to a cracking weekend. It's gold weekend at William Hill, Sam. Can you believe it? That means from 8 a.m. Friday, we're recording this on Thursday, you've got epic boosts on every Premier League match. You've got offers on your ACCAs. You've got a new final one standing worth
Wow.
£50,000 at 3 o'clock on Saturday. There's racing, there's darts, there's loads of stuff going on all weekend at William Hill.
Belter, what a weekend. Great. So let's get straight into it then and waste no time. Again, we go game by game. You try and pick out, don't you, Lee, a couple of bets that could appeal to the people watching this right now. No 12:30 game, so we go Saturday, 3 o'clock, Brighton, Everton. There's just 3 points separating the sides in the table. Everton 10th, Brighton 12th. Since the start of December, only Burnley and Wolves have earned fewer points in the Premier League than Brighton. Meanwhile, Everton have kept 5 clean sheets in their last 6 Premier League away games, which is pretty impressive. How did this one go, Lee?
Yeah, given what you've just said, how are Brighton odds on? At
Yeah.
17 to 20 at home, don't get it. 5 to 2 the draw. Everton 29 to 10. You know the 3 to 1 golden rule.
Yeah.
Not quite there. I mean, it's very close. It's whether you break your rule or not and go. Everton are capable of doing anything on any given day, aren't they? What's interesting is that, as well as all the stats that you just gave, Everton have lost 1 in 7 on the road. That was at Chelsea. 1-4, drawn 2.
It's an impressive record, isn't it?
Yeah, draw, if you take the draw or Everton, so you get the draw on your side and Everton winning, that's a bigger price than Brighton at 19 to 20. I think I'd rather take that. So just a bit bigger, still odds on, but still just a bit bigger than Brighton to win at home. As you said about there's not many goals in this fixture, I don't think. Each of Brighton's last 4 home league games have produced under 2.5 goals. Under 1.5 goals is 5 to 2. As you said, Everton keeping clean sheets. Only Burnley and Wolves have had fewer shots on target than Everton this season. So, yeah, I think I'll take. I'd be tempted to take Everton to risk it, but I think I'll go under 2.5 goals in the match and a draw. I can see this being ending a draw. No one would be surprised if this finished a draw, would I? 1-1.
Yeah. We'll go Leeds Arsenal. By the way, it's a big Saturday 3 o'clock game, isn't it? Leeds Arsenal. Not sure how that hasn't made the television picks. Arsenal now just 4 clear of City and Aston Villa at the top of the table after losing last weekend to Manchester United. Leeds got a point at Everton. They're 16th on 26. That's 6 clear of 18th place West Ham, who picked up a victory at the weekend. Nottingham Forest also picked up a victory at the weekend just gone. Leeds are winless in their last 6 home league games against Arsenal. And Leeds have never won a Premier League game, a home game against the side starting the day at the top of the table. But Leeds are unbeaten in their last 5 Premier League home games. We know it's a tough place to go and all that. Do you fancy Arsenal, though, Lee, maybe just to go there and get a victory, or will they be scarred by last Sunday in that defeat to Man United?
It's hard to know, isn't it? I mean, all the people who are kind of, who are negative about Arsenal's chances and who are looking for, issues. Well, we're all a bit like that, aren't we? If we're not an Arsenal fan, everyone's a bit like, oh, can they do it? This is one of those games where they have to go to Elland Road and win. Win well and scruffy. Who cares? Just win. 8 to 15 the price. Leeds are just under 5 to 1 at home. 24 to 5. You imagine Leeds fans might be tempted by that. 3 to 1 the draw. They've only lost to Villa and Tottenham at home, haven't they? I think they score. The Gunners are leaking goals, and we know what Elland Road is like. Once the noise is going there, they'll be well up for this against Arsenal. It's interesting looking at Arsenal's recent defensive record. Last 6 Premier League games, they've had 2 0-0 draws against Forest, against Liverpool, and they conceded 7 goals in the other 4 games. They've only conceded 17 all season. So they've conceded 7 of those 17 in 4 games. Leeds have scored in all but one of their home games in the Premier League this season. You have to go Arsenal.
Yeah,
Sure,
I think so.
Arsenal winning both teams to score at 12 to 5. I'm going to chance the draw here.
Okay.
Score draw 9 to 2. Title race on.
Wide open, and that would be great for us watching talkSPORT
Yeah,
goals.
by the way, Arsenal are still 4 to 11 to win the title. By the way, so all this kind of which is City 11 to 4. So that they're shortening, but we don't know City. We've got to talk about City yet, haven't we? But then Villa 14 to 1. So Arsenal have still got this in control. It's people who are saying, oh, they're bottling it already. Let's see what happens at Elland Road first.
Going to be a big game. We'll be watching Spurs City together on Sunday on talkSPORT Goals.
Mm.
Wolves Bournemouth is another Saturday 3 o'clock game. After an 11-game winless run, Bournemouth have now won 2 of their last 3 in the Premier League, but Bournemouth have won just 1 of their 11 Premier League away games so far this season. Bournemouth 13th in the table. We know that Wolves are bottom and are, 17 points off safety. But to be fair to them, they have been showing some fight, haven't they, over the last couple of weeks. And maybe Bournemouth just starting to gather some momentum. Lee, will that carry on this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, their away record is, well documented and has been pretty poor, hasn't it? But look at the recent results. They went to Brighton and won and they drew 1-1. They drew in the FA Cup with Newcastle, obviously lost in the end. That was at Newcastle. They drew at Chelsea. Obviously got battered 4-1 by Brentford. Drew 4-4 at Man United. So this isn't awful form anymore, I don't think. I think this is probably, reasonable form for them. And 6-5, their odds against at Wolves. I know Wolves are playing a bit better. They're 2-1, by the way. They draw 12-5. I think Bournemouth win. I think if it's open and Wolves go for it, I think Bournemouth will pick them off. I think they'll score more goals than Wolves. Look, if you're looking for extras on this, like other than just the result, then I think both teams score. Look at shots on target for Matthias Mane, Strand Larsen, Evan Nielsen, Krupi. There's lots of players who'll be having a pop here. And corners is an interesting one. We don't often talk about corners, but a lot of people love betting on the corners and cards.
Very in at the moment, isn't it, corners, right?
Yeah. Over 6 Bournemouth corners is 17-10, which I think that's good. Most corners of any away team in the division, it's a bit niche, this one, but -2 corners on handicaps. That means Bournemouth have to have 3 or more corners than Wolves. That's 8-5. Now, Wolves have taken the lowest number of corners in the division. You won't be surprised now. And they average 3 taken at home, and Bournemouth averaging over 6 away from home. So, yeah, there's a couple of niche ones there. Good for bet builder. If you're going for a bet builder and you want to stick some corners in there and look at shots on target, both teams to score, I think there's a decent bet builder somewhere in there.
Nice, good stuff, Lee. As that's 3 o'clock games on Saturday. 5:30 game on Saturday is tasty. Chelsea, West Ham. West Ham have won just 1 of their last 19 Premier League away games against Chelsea. But West Ham have won their last 2 Premier League games, last winning 3 in a row in December 2023 under David Moyes. Meanwhile, Chelsea themselves have won their last 2 games in the Premier League. Chelsea are 5th in the table, 1 point off 4th place Manchester United. Also Chelsea in the week going to Napoli, winning into the last 16 of the Champions League. And West Ham, with those back-to-back victories, are 5 points off 17th place Nottingham Forest. So both sides, Lee, with plenty to play for this season in the Premier League.
Yeah, 1-2 Chelsea are at home. It's fair enough, isn't it? At home to West Ham. 100-30 the Hammers, the draw, and 24-5 the Hammers. I know it's not very trendy to say it, but Liam Rosenior's doing pretty well, isn't he? To be fair, you could question some of his, the performances of the team. The results were good. First team to beat Napoli at their place since December 2024. I mean, that's decent, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
fair play.
And by the way, Napoli were going for it as well, weren't they?
Lee, even on the talkSPORT Goal Show on Wednesday night, even Kwesi Wafari had some nice words to say about Liam Rosenior. So there we go.
Yeah. So look, I don't see how West Ham aren't the sort of team who win 3 games on the spin. I know they got through the FA Cup tie. They drew that game in 90 minutes. They, you mentioned it. They haven't won a game in 90 minutes, 3 games in a row in 90 minutes since back end of 2023. I can't see them going to Stamford Bridge and winning. I could maybe see Chelsea having a really strong first half. Maybe, the trip has taken a little out of them. So maybe they win the first half and the second half is drawn, but Chelsea still win. I can see Chelsea being 2 up and it finishing at halftime and it finishing 2-0, something like that. But I think Chelsea win, and I'd be looking at Chelsea -1 on the handicap. I think, I'm interested to see how Rosenior's team finishes this season. Like you say, I think this is a game that they should win, and I think will win.
That's the 5:30 game on Saturday. We've got an 8 o'clock game on Saturday evening. It's Liverpool versus Newcastle. Liverpool are unbeaten their last 18 Premier League games against Newcastle. And Newcastle failed to win any of their last 29 Premier League away games against Liverpool. So, I mean, Newcastle's record against Liverpool overall, especially at Anfield, absolutely woeful. Of course, both teams played Champions League Wednesday nightly, but both teams had different games. Liverpool cruising at home to Karabag, Newcastle away to PSG. That was a tough game. As a Liverpool fan, I'm reluctant to say we're going to win because at any moment where there feels like this season there's been a glimmer of hope and promise that we're maybe getting back to our best, we then end up getting beat. So I'll let you tell us what's going to happen in this game.
I was going to ask you.
No,
Liverpool...
I don't know. I don't want to say we're going to win because we probably won't do. So you say it.
I'd love to. Well, I think there's probably one result that's staring at us, isn't there? And that's the draw. And that's 29-9. It's just under 3-1. Same price as Newcastle. Don't fancy Newcastle away for the reasons that you just said. The record. I was at university last time Newcastle won at Anfield.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
That was a long time ago, mate.
I wasn't born then.
Oh God! Can we edit that out?
No.
Yeah. So I don't like Newcastle. Don't like their away form this season. Don't like the fact they've been away from home. Blah 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 blah. I don't like Liverpool to win because I can't trust them. I mean, they're only 4-5. So the draw at 29-10 probably seems about right. I mean, like you said, Liverpool have had an easy midweek. I mean, Arne Slot was talking about his players running on empty after losing to Bournemouth. Seemed like he loves an excuse, by the way, Arne Slot. They obviously then played midweek. To be fair, like the Karabag players came for the shopping at Liverpool 1, I think, rather than a football match. Brought the Karabags with them, to be fair. Newcastle...
Did you write that one down, Lee, on a piece of paper? You thought about that one in the Lake District, didn't you, earlier this week? You had that one lined up.
It just came to me right now. No, I wrote it down. Draw. Let's go draw.
You're going draw, are you? All right. Talking of excuses.
Would you be surprised at a draw? Would you be surprised?
I wouldn't be surprised. No, probably not. Talking of excuses, I mean, you're running out of excuses as to why you don't fancy getting involved in talkSPORT Goals Champions League nights, right? I mean, where have you been the last? You missed an absolute belter Wednesday night, Lee.
Mate, I can't improve on perfection, can I? Don't touch what's not broken.
You can't improve on perfection. We'll move on from that. Nice words, though. We're doing a talkSPORT Goal Show this Sunday at 2 o'clock. Aston Villa, Brentford. Aston Villa, mad to think they were winless, weren't they, in their first 5 Premier League games this season, scoring just 1 goal since the start of match day 6. Villa have won more points and more games than any other side. They're 4 points off top of the table Arsenal. Brentford lost their last 2 Premier League games, going down 2-0 against both Chelsea and Nottingham Forest. And in that Chelsea game in particular, they play well. Loving Aston Villa at the moment. They're going along really nicely. They're not the only team in the league to have injuries, but Kamara and McGinn and Tielemans all injured for the foreseeable future. Okay, Douglas-Luiz has come back. 3 midfield players all out injured is a big blow, Lee, and I'm just worried about how Villa are going to cope with that.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. The 19-20 to win this game, which is only a touch of odds on. I thought they'd be shorter than that. Maybe it is the injuries. Maybe it is the fact that they're playing in Europe in midweek. I mean, they're safely into the next phase. They play tonight as we record this, don't they? So we don't quite know what's happened there, but maybe rest a little there. 5-2 the draw. Brentford 13-5. I'm a big fan of both of these teams. I've backed Brentford quite a lot, haven't I? And they've kind of let me down a little bit on the last couple of weekends. Pretty wasteful in front of goal against Forest again. They were wasteful in front of goal against Chelsea, but they're still creating chances. So I'm not writing them off here. I just don't think 13-5 is quite big enough for me. Villa do occasionally have an off day, so you never
like the last home game against Everton.
Yeah, you're never massively surprised, are you? If they lose, you don't go, what? But they seem to go on runs. He seems to be able to get them to bounce back really well from any bad result. Unai Emery. When you look back at their results, look at the losses and look what happens after that. He's a fantastic manager, as we all know, and it's another one of his massive positives that he seems to be able to get them going. I'm still going to go home win, Sam. Even with the issues, I think they're just too good. Unless, look, if Brentford have one of those days and Igor Thiago, can't miss, then obviously Brentford are a danger to anyone in the division. They just seem to be just seem to have gone off the boil a little bit. Close one, Villa win.
Yeah, just Aston Villa to win. Normally I break after 4 or 5 games, don't I? But this is 6 games in. You distracted me with your carrier bag comments that I went straight into the next game. We are 6 games down. We'll look ahead to the other 4 games in a short while. This is the talkSPORT Goals Preview Show brought to you by Final One Standing, which is new from William Hill, 18 plus, and gambleaware.org. Sam Ellard and Lee Phelps from William Hill are taking you through all of the Premier League games this weekend. We now go to another Sunday 2 o'clock game, and this should be a tasty game at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United versus Fulham. We know that United are flying those incredible back-to-back victories against City and Arsenal. They're fourth in the table, but Fulham are absolutely flying. They're seventh, and they're only 4 points behind Manchester United. They're having a really, really good couple of weeks for Fulham. We've got a chance this season of possibly some European football. Fulham have earned as many points in their last 8 Premier League games as they managed in their first 15 of the season. So we know United are going well, but also, Lee Phelps, it's the Fulham team that are in really good form themselves.
Yeah, I think this is a big test for Man United. It could be a big test as well, whatever that means.
You can't call Michael Carrick a tit, can you? That's bang out of order.
I think it was test.
Oh, okay. You sure?
I think they're dropping down a level here in intensity, Manchester United. I think obviously you've gone City straight off the bat, you've gone Arsenal, and then you go Fulham. And it's not the same. I know Fulham are in good form, but from a player's point of view, I think they might just drop off here. And that's a danger for United, I think. Fulham could well lull them into their own game and play them at that and sit in. Remember, Fulham have done that a lot this season, where they've almost kind of been boring to watch at times, and suddenly they strike. And I think that they are dangerous. There's 19-5 here. That's just under 4-1 to win at Old Trafford. Maybe not quite big enough. 16-5, over 3-1 the draw is big enough for me. And I can't, even though I've witnessed both of Manchester United's performances in all their glory, the last two, I cannot back Manchester United at 4-7 yet. No, not against Fulham, because Fulham won't come at them and give them that opportunity to break them down. I think that's way too short for Manchester United. If Villa are 19-20 to beat Brentford at home, how are Man United 4-7 to beat Fulham at home? Fulham or the draw, so you get 2 results on your side, is 13-10. I'd rather have that than Man United at 4-7.
And again, goes back to your rule about, a team playing anyone bar Liverpool, Man City or Arsenal being over 3-1. Fulham are there. Fulham are in good form. Yeah. And I think you make a great point that United did at home in that derby going to Arsenal. Can they then do it again against, not one of the top 6 teams? Fulham in good form. I like that Fulham price. Forest Palace is a massive game of football, isn't it? Forest 17th on 25. And goodness me, Palace are well and truly been dragged into, possibly a relegation battle. 15th on 28 points. They are 8 clear of West Ham, but they're in awful form since match day 16. Palace have won the fewest points 2, scored the fewest goals 4, lost the most games 6, and had the worst goal difference -12 in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest, meanwhile, have won 7 points in their last 3 Premier League matches, more than in their previous 8 combined. So with all that, bearing that in mind, Lee, Forest at home as well. Are you edging Forest here, maybe? It's a big game for both teams.
Huge game. I mean, we had a really good debate about this on talkSPORT Goals. I mean, Quaker was fully of the opinion, and by the way, he was proved right, last weekend, about that he thinks Palace were cooked, basically. He thinks that's done for the season. I'm not quite so sure. I think if the manager stays, I don't think his pride and the players' pride will allow them just to kind of to drop off and put their flip-flops on, and that'd be that, because they've still got the European competition. I know they've made a bit of a mess of that, but they've still got an opportunity. They're still right up there in the favourites to win that competition. So Palace are still a decent side, aren't they? We know they've lost players, and we know there's problems behind the scene. The main problem for them was that they couldn't cope with the midweek games. They haven't had one now for 2 weeks. It'd be interesting to see if he has got anything out of them. Now, I'm willing to trust them one more time. I know it's mad, but they're 11-4 at Forest. I think it's a bit big. Not quite big enough, but it's a bit big. I don't think Forest should be odds on at home to beat Crystal Palace. I think the draw is a big player here. The last 7 Premier League games... I was going to say
that, Lee. It's the way to go here, the draw.
Yeah, it looks like it. The last 7 Premier League games, there have been 5 draws. There have been 10 goals in 7 games between them. All have been under 2.5 goals. So the draw on under 2.5 goals is 3-1. Palace, shut up shop. Try and get a defensive, play like they did early in the season, very defensively, but then capable of attacking when they need to. Forest, we know, can be very defensive. And I think both would probably take a point if you gave them it in the end, because
Oh, I don't think Forest take a point at home to Palace. No way, Jose. You've got to be
far,
jokingly.
they're far enough away from West Ham. I don't think West Ham catch them. I think they'll be all right. I mean, Forest are 11-2 to be relegated. Leeds 13-2. Palace 7-1. West Ham are 4-9 to be relegated. I don't think West Ham get a result this weekend. I think West Ham just settle back down to where they were, and they'll end up going down, I think. I'm not saying that Forest will go for the win. I'm not saying they settle for. I think at the end of the game, by 70 minutes, 1-1. Let's finish there.
Go 6 clear of West Ham, assuming they don't win against Chelsea on Saturday evening. Fair enough, Lee.
I just think Palace are better than we're making out they are right now.
You're generous, aren't you? Being generous on Crystal Palace. Spurs, Man City, the Sunday 4:30 game. Of course, it'll be interesting to see how many points Man City are behind Arsenal going into this game, with Arsenal playing on Saturday at 3 o'clock away at Leeds. How's this for a stat? Man City's Pep Guardiola has lost more league games against Spurs than any other opponent in his managerial career. I mean, that's an astonishing record, Lee, isn't it? We know, of course, Spurs go well against City, don't they?
Yeah, 3 of the last 4 they've won. I mean, it kind of surprises me, even though we've witnessed that happening over the last couple of years. Like, when you look at it, you think, when did that happen? Well, I mean, obviously, City were in a slump and all the rest of it. I think this is a tricky game. It's a bit like the Liverpool Newcastle game for me. I don't really trust any of the teams. Like, Tottenham should tempt me at home at 7-2, but they don't. Man City at 13-20. Not quite. I'm not sure. I don't know. 3-1 the draw again. I mean, it just seems like we're putting draws up. It's more because I don't really know what the teams have got to offer. I mean, Haaland's got 3 in his last 2 at Tottenham, so that might be worth a look, because obviously he scored in midweek in the cup. Ended his mini goal drought. I think we can expect goals here. I think it'll be a good game for a bet builder. I think we will see goals, and I think if we see goals, the logical thing to say is that Man City have got more goals in them than Tottenham have. So I'd go. My bet would be City to win and both teams to score. It's a much better price than 13-20. But I think it's hard to predict. City, it's a must-win for City, though, if they are going to stay in the title race.
Every game for City feels must-win, don't they?
It is, though, isn't it? It really is.
You can't go anywhere and take a point, can you?
They need to win every game.
Yeah, I fancy City here. I know City have looked less than convincing over the last couple of weeks, but Spurs in the league have been all over the place, awful. And
at home,
I agree. I think home, exactly that. So I think goals, and I do fancy City. What are you doing Monday night, Lee?
I am going to sit down and watch Sunderland versus Burnley. What are you doing?
I feel like I love football, and I feel like I watch lots of football, and that's great. I feel like maybe Monday, the 2nd of February, Sunday, 8 o'clock, I might watch Kara and whoever do their thing on Monday Night Football, and possibly I might have a night off from the football. I don't know if I should be saying that, but maybe. That's what I might do.
It's absolutely fine. It's fine.
Sunderland, Burnley, Lee Phelps. Can you try and sell this to people, please, on Monday night, 8 o'clock, and why they should, possibly, if they wanted to, have a couple of pounds on something here?
Well, on my notes, I wrote home win.
Okay, I like that.
Done.
Thanks for joining me, Lee, on the talkSPORT Goals preview show.
It is a home win, isn't it? The 3-4. It's a bit short, but they win this game at home. I think Sunderland. Burnley. Burnley are obviously very short to go down now. They're 1-40. There's not much more to say about it than that, is there? I mean, look, when you watch Sunderland, you're going to get a great atmosphere at the ground. You'll be able to watch a decent enough game. The quality might not be top level, but I could see a couple of goals for Sunderland here. There's probably a way in. And, of course, because it's Gold Weekend and it'll extend through to Monday Night Football, there'll be an epic boost as well. So that's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Lee, I'm at, before we do the goal show on Sunday, I'm at QPR Coventry on Saturday afternoon for talkSPORT Goals, which I'm looking forward to. And again, the top of the championship is fascinating, isn't it? Because Coventry, who started so well, I'm not saying dropping off, but they're on 58 points. Borough in second on 55. And then you've got Ipswich and Hull on 50. So 8 behind Coventry, who've lost 3 of their last 6 games. They go to QPR on Saturday, who are only a couple of points off the top 6. Has there been any change in terms of Coventry at the top in maybe lengthening a little bit in terms of going up? Or are they still pretty short given their 8 clear of 3rd place?
Still well short to go up. 1-16 they are to be promoted. But in terms of the title race, Coventry are 4-6. Remember, they were very short. And Ipswich 5-2. So they are closing in on them. It's going to be interesting to follow that race and the Premier League title race and the William Hill Scottish Premiership race. There's some
of course,
title races going on. But yeah, Coventry still odds on, but they need to start stringing some results together. It's going to be fascinating to see what you think of them after Saturday at QPR.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that on Sunday. And has there been any change since we last did the goal show on Sunday? Of course, that amazing Hearts Celtic game in terms of that William Hill Scottish Premiership outright. Has there been any change of prices, or is it pretty much as you were?
Yeah, exactly as it was when we watched that. After we watched that game, Celtic the favourites at 6-4, despite the gap. 13-8, second favourites Rangers, who closed the gap, of course, and Hearts top of the league, still 2-1 third favourites.
Yeah, well, there we go. Lee, top man, thank you. I'll see you on Sunday.
Looking forward to it.
This has been the talkSPORT Goals preview show. Make sure you do join us from 2 o'clock this Sunday on the talkSPORT YouTube channel and on your smart TVs. We'll keep you across all of the Premier League action, including Spurs Man City at 4:30. We're on air at 2 o'clock. We will see you then for talkSPORT Goals.